Alright, what's up guys? As requested and promised, doing a boost gauge install on a 2019 Jetta S 1.4 turbo. Currently we have the intake. A lot of people have asked me where I got it at. Honestly, I just got the piping and fabricated it and went from there. As far as the fabrications, how I needed to do it to get it to fit. Haven't had any issues with it, but back to the topic on hand, running the tube for the boost controller. Well, not boost controller, I'm sorry, but it'll be a valve. It actually goes right here. This is going to be your boost control sensor. There's actually a part that you have to get if you don't want to just tap into a vacuum line. I'm trying not to go butching up a bunch of my vacuum lines, so I actually found it on a Volkswagen forum, so I will put the link for the boost sensor adapter, which this will actually unbolt here. The adapter will go down, the sensor will go in the middle of the adapter, and then there is an actual hose and for like where the tubing would go over, and the tubing will just slip over that, and then that's pretty much all you got to do on this side of it. But running the hose from the inside or from the outside to the inside, however you want to look at it, one of the things you're going to have to do is you are going to have to pull out your battery. So always safety first, disconnect the positive, tuck it away, and then go to your negative, disconnect that. They both are 10 millimeters. Then you will have this battery tie down, and there will actually be 3 spots on your battery tray. The tie down's actually in the first one. So once you get that done, you just pull that out. That's actually a 13 millimeter. Once you get that out, there is, I don't know if you can really see it, I'm just gonna move this light. You can kind of see where the factory wiring right here kind of goes. But if you go to the inside of the vehicle, which is a lot easier to do from the inside, helps if I grab a light to be able to show you what you're going to be pushing on to make the hole and be able to run your tubing through it. As you can see now, I have the tubing already through and to where I need it to. So basically, all I got to do then is run it up to on top of the steering wheel, where I'm going to mount the boost gauge. But if you look under, you will have this grommet back here. I chose to go into the, let's see if I can pull it back. See what I'm talking about. There is like a small little hole. It almost looks like a nipple spot on this actual boot. Trying to get it back to where it'll be easier to show you. I had to move it around a little. So if you look back there, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. All I did was just took a large flathead and went into that spot. Now you can go in beside the wire, but I try to do things away from the wires, just so you know to worry about any nicks or potentially tearing or ripping through a wire. So that is where we're at right now. So I'm gonna pause this, finish running my tube, mount my boost gauge, I did have to go into the fuse panel, which nicely it's actually located right below the headlight control. So I'm going off of a fused connection. I have a factory fuse in there as well as an aftermarket fuse adapter, so you don't have to strip the wire, wrap it around the fuse, and push the fuse in there for my ignition source or the 12 volt outlet. And then I also have an extra wire and a ground. These are coming off of the license plate light to go along with the LEDs that I installed under the dash to come on with auto. So I didn't want them on all the time with the ignition. So that is that's where that's at. But obviously I can't show you that at the moment because I don't have the battery hooked up. So anyway, I'm sure I'll do another video on that. But if that's something that interests you, easy access point underneath your side panel here. It is, if you want to do it to come on and be able to control it with your light switches. I normally run mine on auto, so rather than have the LEDs come on with the ignition and my gauge LED come on with the ignition, I decided to go into the license plate light wire, which is right under here in your main harness coming up from the rear. You'll have to cut some of the factory tape off, and it is the gray with a green stripe in it wire. Once you find that, if you cut it, splice it, you can tap into it. Then at any point when your auto function or your sensor on your dash detects that it's nighttime out, your lights will automatically come on. Or you can physically control them by parking light, headlight control. So they'll just kind of, everything will just flow in its own rather than being on all the time, and adding hours to the runtime of the actual light's lifetime. So like I said, pause this, pick this up. I will also, like I said, make sure I put a link for the boost sensor adapter in my comments below, or description, I'm sorry. And I will pick this back up once we get all squared away. All right, everybody, back with the final parts of the boost gauge install on the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta 1.4T. Part actually came in, so this is what you're going to be looking at when the part actually comes in. I was a little leery ordering off of eBay. I did incorporate the link, like in the first section of the video, to this part on eBay. So it actually comes packaged pretty decent. There's also 2 screws in there to pull off your factory boost sensor or your map sensor. Looking more into it, it might be the map sensor, but a lot of the research I've done has a lot of people are calling it the boost sensor, but this is sitting here. There's no bolts or anything that hold it in. It's actually just snaps down, just like that. And then if you look on both sides, there's this clip and this clip over here on both sides. So what I did was I just used a flathead, put it in on the one side, and just pulled up. I did work this side over the clip, so then I could just pull straight up. So what I'm assuming, or at least I'm assuming, that it will go, being that there's a seal on this end and a seal on here, I'm assuming it's just going to go possibly like that. To where this actually will just push down inside, and it'll be like a flush like it'll snap down and the seal will actually be okay. So I'm gonna tinker around with this for a minute, and I'll pick the video back up once I get it together. Basically together. Now I am noticing that there is some sort of a difference in the way it's set up. This side here is flat, but basically the top kind of goes just like that, and then it'll seat down in, and then with the 2 screws they give you to actually fasten it down into the plastic. So go ahead and move some of this out of the way. I do already have my cable or tube out here. I did wire loom it. I just ran it up, back, and through the firewall. And then rather than have a clear tube, I just figured I'd throw some wire loom over it. Give it a different look. So then this will actually just kind of seat down over that, just like that. And you will drop your 2 screws in and then tighten them down. Imagining you're not going to make them super tight, just enough to flush everything. So, because if you change your mind and actually go back to the factory, I'm imagining you're going to still need screws. So, but we're just going to try and snug that down pretty good. And then before I really get any more in depth into it, I'm actually just gonna snip this off just to make sure everything is kind of set up right. I don't want to go putting everything all back together if we're gonna have an issue where it actually doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I'll try and just slip the hose on. I will actually have to cut that hose a little bit, just for the simple fact that it's longer than I would like it. But like I said, just I throw everything together to make sure the boost gauge is actually reading boost and not acting like a vacuum line. Alright, so a little harder to see. Change the color here. Alright, maybe green is the best to see. Right now you can see that the boost gauge is actually went up and it's functioning. So it appears to be working. It doesn't look like these things, I mean, at least at an idle, the rev limiter does kick in, or it won't let you rev above 4,000. So it does seem to pull at least a little bit on the boost. So with that being said, I think everything's good. So I'm going to shorten that hose and wrap everything up underneath and put everything back together. And I guess that's going to be that on the boost gauge install on the 2019 Jetta. Also went and did a couple other accessory pieces in plastic dip. So if you have any questions, comments, feel free. I normally will get back to you within a day, sorry. Always looking for subscribers. If there's a question you have about it, I may already be thinking about doing it. 2, the Jetta or on any of my other videos with the Crown Vic or whatever. So if you have a question, feel free to shoot it. I had one of my subscribers ask me about a boost gauge, and so I was already going to do it, so I figured why not just throw up a how-to video. Haven't really found any on it anyway, so I hope this is helpful. And like I said, feel free to subscribe. Always looking for the subscribers. Thanks for watching.